All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome to one of my first really long videos. At least I think it'll be a really long video. I don't really know. This is just a quick little intro I'm recording for it, but it looks like a long video, but this is one of my first longer videos, I think, in a really long time. So I'm going to try and make it good for you guys, and this one is, of course, going back over fake sexualities. Now, we've done this video before. There is another one I've done. It's quite a long time ago now, actually. But yeah, I did call it. It was the dark side of fake sexualities, I think. And I went over like 3 or 4 fake sexualities that I saw floating around Reddit and YouTube and stuff like that. And, we just talked about them, talked about why they could possibly be harmful to certain groups of people. Not only people that are part of the LGBTQ community, but also just other groups of people in general. And today, this video was actually made possible by a commenter. If you're here watching this video, I am going to shout you out. Random person. Yeah, their name is Random Person. They went ahead and sent me in my comment section. They made a big long comment of every fake sexuality they could find. And we're pretty much just going to be doing like a quick, just super quick kind of rundown and, definition, description kind of thing for every single one of them. But trust me, there are a lot of them here. So we are going to be going through hopefully all of them. Maybe I'll get bored and we won't quite make it through all of them, but I would like to. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our first one. So the first one is anime sexuals. And now you may be thinking, oh God, Skeleton Key, you talk about anime sexuals all the time. And yeah, I do. You're honestly not wrong. I can't even refute you on that point. Anime sexuals, I have made a video on their subreddit. It was the first ever Reddit Review Thursday. There's a bit of Skeleton Key history for you right there. And I hate these people. In short, I hate these people. They they are sexually attracted to 2D anime characters. And now you may be thinking, oh, well, Skeleton Key, I'm also attracted to 2D anime characters. Yeah, it's fine to look at a picture of an anime girl and go, oh, wow, she's got nice tits. I'm gonna jerk off to this picture of this anime girl. A little weird. In the way I phrased it, but then again, you could probably say that about anything. But they go much further than this. They truly feel like they have a deep connection or a deep relationship with these characters. They like almost claim them. But outside of that, which it sounds fine, but outside of that, they are a really racist, homophobic, pretty terrible group of people. So that's all I'm going to say there. I'm going to leave that there. You can go take a look at my anime sexual video if you would like to know more, or even the dark side of sexuality video. I went a little more in depth on them. So take a look at either of those if you really want to know more. Moving on to the second one, we have Dracosexuals. Now, these are people that are attracted to Draco Malfoy, I believe. I don't know. It's a character from the Harry Potter series, books and movies. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I personally have never gotten into it. I've tried multiple times. It's just not my kind of thing. But yeah, they're sexually attracted to Draco Malfoy. And this, again, much like the anime sexuals, it doesn't sound inherently bad at face value, but I do believe I went over this in my dark side of fake sexualities. I believe it started as like a group of people who wanted to come up with like a fake sexuality to kind of validate themselves in saying, a slur against homophobic people that starts with the letter F. I'm obviously not going to say that because that is, not great to say. But I believe that was like the intentions behind it, or at least some of the people within it had that intention. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't really know. I didn't really look up a lot on this one because I felt like I remembered talking about it before. If I'm wrong, though, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll probably heart it and pin it so people know that if I was wrong. But yeah, that's that one. All right, so this third one now is MAPS, MAPs, pedosexuals. In other words, just pedophiles, or as they call themselves, minor attracted persons. It's just as bad as it sounds. It's not like some of these other ones where there's a darker underlying thing to like, Draco said, who fucking cares if they're attracted to that person. This just sounds as bad as it actually is. It's just pedophiles. Plain and simple, it's pretty much just pedophiles. And if you don't know what a pedophile is, which I'm sure you do, but I will explain it just for the sake of the video. It is a person over the age of 18 who, likes and has sexual relations with children, essentially. So pretty bad. YouTube, don't kill my video because I'm talking about this. I am talking about it in a highly negative light, and that's all I'm going to say about this one because, like I just talked about, I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but obviously very bad. They kind of did this as a jab at LGBTQ people, saying, oh, well, if you can just like whatever and call it a sexuality, I'm a pedophile, so I'm going to call that a sexuality. Pretty bad stuff. So yeah, that's that. But let's just go ahead and move on to the next one. So our next one is food sexual. Now, obviously, it's people sexually attracted to food. Now, like we're going to see for a lot of these, probably most of these, we're going to go into the second part of them, and it's just going to be like kind of like the Draco-sexual one. It's really just a jab at LGBTQ people and a validation for saying the slur against them. That's pretty much it. In short, that's basically all this is. Many people of the LGBTQ people, don't like these, don't support these. In fact, I could probably go as far to say all of them. And yeah, so this is going to be a common trend for probably most of them. So I'll probably just shorten it and say they're taking a jab at the LGBTQ people, but just wanted to explain that now before we go into more of them where I'm just like reading off a bunch and going, sexually attracted to this, and they're taking a jab at the LGBTQ people, which makes them bad. But yeah, so that's that. Moving on to the next one, food sexual. It's pretty dumb. That's just a quick one. It sounds as dumb as it is. So moving on to the next one. This next one is plant sexual, and their flag is, it has the sunflower from Plants vs. Zombies on it. So if that doesn't give you a good inclination into what I'm about to say, I don't know what else does, but this is another one that just mocks the LGBTQ community. So we're just going to move on. Okay, this next one is heat sexual, and while it does also mock the LGBTQ community, no surprise there. Like I said, it is a very common trend. This one is quite weird in its own. So heat sexual. So essentially, this is or at least from my research I've done, this is referring to heat. Now, if you don't know what heat is, or you think, okay, heat being hot or something like that, no, it's not that. It's referring to heat as in what female dogs and wolves are in when they're like, the most fertile or, something like that. Weird. It's very weird. Obviously humans do not do that. It just doesn't happen. And it's also intertwined with the gotcha community, which if you don't know what that is, I've actually never made a video on that, and chances are I probably won't because it's a mess. It is a big mess. Probably something bigger than I want to tackle on my channel. Maybe I'll do it, actually. It doesn't sound like a bad idea, but the gotcha community is pretty bad in its own right. And this seems to be intertwined with it, along with some YouTube shit from certain YouTubers. I'm not really going to call out people because I don't feel like it. But again, this is just one that mocks the LGBTQ community, like I obviously said earlier, and just very weird. This one is just very, very strange. I don't even know how you get to like coming up with this one, but yeah, but we're just going to move on to the next one. So the next one is Dreamsexual, and chances are, if you are not versed in the world of fake sexuality, such as myself, no, that's a joke. I don't actually really know very much, but I am happy to, shine a negative light on a lot of these things, especially after my awful experience with anime-sexuals. But, yeah, so the Dreamsexual thing, I'm sure you've heard of it. This is one of the more popular ones. It follows the same format as many of the other ones we've talked about. Really just there to mock the LGBTQ community or pretty much make a sexuality out of something that just isn't a sexuality. And it obviously revolves around everybody's favorite Minecraft streamer, Dream, head of the Dream SMP, and, follows with his gang of many other people. And don't worry, because I'm pretty sure some of them have sexualities later on as well. So, yeah, we're not done here. But, no hate to Dream for this one. It's really not his fault. It's his community. So, yeah, this one's bad, obviously, for, reasons stated before. And, don't be a Dreamsexual. That's what I'm going to end that on. Moving on to the next one. So Zoosexual is our next one, and I found some conflicting evidence here. Some of it points to being Zoosexual in reference to George Weasley, another Harry Potter one. So I'm sure you can, relate this back to the previous Harry Potter one. But the other ones say it's Zoosexual in reference to George Not Found, another part of the Dream group of people. So, you can relate them both back to their respective previous ones mentioned, and I'm sure you can make the assumption that these are also taking a little bit of a mockery of the LGBTQ community. For some reason, though, I almost feel as though these ones aren't so much doing that, but are more, they are technically, but I feel like, for their reason of creation wasn't necessarily that. I think it's more just stan kind of people that, probably really need to go outside and, not make sexualities that could possibly be invalidating to people who deal with real sexualities, which, come with issues and, stuff like that, obviously, obviously it's a lot better nowadays, but people have definitely faced some shit in the past, and it's not fun to just make, some shit up and try and fit in with that group of people when you're just not part of that. So I don't necessarily think some of these ones have like evil intent, like they're really trying to make a mockery. Some of them obviously are, but these stan kind of ones, I think are more just jokes, but then they grow and they grow and then they take on the more negative, bad, darker side to them, the more they grow. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So our next one is Gotcha Sexual. This, as we've talked about before, it's somehow, I'm still not sure how, but intertwined with the heat sexual. It's kind of creepy in the fact that a lot of these people are younger people. It's really porn on Gotcha Life is the kind of thing driving this one, but it obviously invalidates the LGBTQ community again. And, this one is a little more harmful because there's obviously children and it's a mess. Gotcha Life and stuff like that is a mess on YouTube. I could make like a 8-hour video discussing everything wrong with that side of YouTube and everything wrong that goes over there, including the 2 sexualities so far we've got from it. I don't know about the rest of this list yet because I'm obviously researching and then doing a part for each one, but there could be more, and I really wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, so another one that invalidates the LGBTQ community, pretty bad. This one is just negative almost all around because honestly, making gotcha porn for kids pretty much on YouTube, pretty fucked up. So yeah, that's I'm just gonna leave that one there, and we're gonna move on to the next one. So this next one is pansexual, which it's definitely not what you think it is. It's not people like sexually attracted to pain. It's actually kind of an interesting concept, especially for this list so far. I don't really quite know about this one, so I'm not going to make any huge claims about it. There's some things that say it's some weird thing where you're like sexually attracted to bread or something, which I'm not exactly sure how that goes with that. There's other things that say it's, actually like somewhat tied into other sexualities that are, real sexualities. And then there's other things that just say it's like another one of those making fun of, mock, weird, fake things. So this one, I'm not going to make any major claims. I'm just going to go ahead and report that it exists. And, you can kind of do your own research or let me know down in the comments what is the like real confirmed kind of meaning. It was created in 2020, which is fairly recent. So part of me wants to say it's another one of those fake things, but it's also like it's not unheard of for, something to come out of nowhere and actually genuinely makes sense. So I don't know. I read a couple different websites. It was like 50-50. I couldn't really get a good, solid answer as to what it was. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know down in the comment sections below if you know anything more about this, because I genuinely don't. Our next one is fidget sexual. Now you may be thinking, okay, what the fidget sexual, really? And, that's what a lot of people think. So this one was created on TikTok, which we all know my relationship with TikTok, and a lot of people don't like it, which for good reason. It's another one of those ones to basically just mock, make fun of, belittle, the LGBTQ community. And it's actually weirdly used by kids a lot. I'm sure you've been going through TikTok way too late at night, like 3 a.m. or something. You're scrolling through videos and you come across a video of like some little kid trading fucking fidget toys and stuff. It's what some of those kids use to like describe themselves, which is very weird. I've never gotten the whole huge fidget hype anyway. considering, fidget toys and fidget things like that were kind of originally developed for people with, mental health issues or mental disorders, to, stuff like anxiety, ADHD, ADD, to kind of like have a little bit of a release that doesn't disturb anybody else. So I don't really get the whole craze around making these fancy trendy toys that every kid uses now for some reason when they just don't really need to. But that's kind of, this one's like a double-edged sword. It's honestly, except there's no upside to this one. It's just both edges of the sword are bad. It's like it's bad for mental health people, and it's bad for LGBTQ people. It's like taking a jab at both of them at the same time. It is mostly little kids, so they don't really know what they're doing. But at the same time, why is this a thing in the first place? So we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So FNAF Sexual. Now, FNAF, if you don't know what FNAF is, it is Five Nights at Freddy's. And if you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is, it is a indie horror game created back in like 2013 or 14 by a guy named Scott Cawthon. There's a lot of them now. They're actually quite good games. There's quite a good story behind them. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the games myself, having, grown up playing some of them when I was a little younger. They were good. They were a little scary, jump scare based kind of games. They're not like incredibly amazing, but they're not bad games. And pretty much people have once again taken this and made a mockery of the LGBTQ community out of it. There is some stuff actually regarding Scott Cawthon, the creator of the game, as we've mentioned before. There's some issues surrounding him and his political views. He tends to be really right-leaning on the political spectrum, or at least that's what he supported in the past. There's been like receipts of him making donations to right-winged organizations. And it was a blow to a lot of the Five Nights at Freddy's community, because a lot of them are, or at least some of them, there's like almost like a sub community within the Five Nights at Freddy's kind of larger community, where it really is a lot of LGBTQ people and stuff like that. They find it as a creative outlet. They like to draw fan art for it and stuff like that. So he kind of backstabbed them there a little bit. But at the same time, you can't blame the guy. It's his political views. Everybody's political views are different. LGBTQ people, the game is still there. And in fact, he just sold the game. So he now doesn't even really have the connection to it. So, they should also still be able to enjoy the game, because if it's something they like, who cares? But what there shouldn't be is fake sexualities made out of it, mocking these LGBTQ people. It's just wrong. We've discussed it before, but I feel like we haven't fully gone into it in a couple. So just to remind you, mocking the LGBT community with fake, validating, in quotations, sexualities is, definitely wrong. It's pretty wrong for many reasons. Just historically even, just as a quick grab out of the air reason, it's just wrong. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So our next one is blood sexual, and we are back to the pretty self-explanatory ones. Someone who is sexually attracted to blood, and like most of these, this is another one that is just invalidating the LGBTQ community, because it's blood. You can't really have a sexual relationship with blood. I do hate to break it to you, but it is pretty impossible. So yeah, we're just going to move on to the next one. Okay, so this next one I cannot really pronounce right, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. It is Danganron PA Sexual. And this is once again another fake sexuality. I believe that whatever the, prefix before sexual was, is it's either like a TV show or a video game or something from what I can tell. I don't really know. It seems to be like maybe anime related. I really don't know, and I don't want to step on toes by going any further. So another one that basically just mocks the LGBTQ community. So we can move on from this one. What is up with people in the world? This next one comes straight out of Alabama, and it is incest sexual. Oh, this is... okay, this is just like the pedophile one, kind of. It's incest, so... if you don't know what incest is, I guess I will take the time to describe it. It's basically having sexual relations with, members of your own family or blood relatives, pretty much, which is inherently wrong. And it's wrong in every sense of the word. And also, if you ever were to have a kid from this, they would have some kind of deformity. There's a high chance they would have some kind of deformity, because, this is not something that's supposed to be done. So, yeah, pretty wrong there to start off with, not to mention the fact it mocks the LGBTQ community. But yeah, just wrong on all levels. And so we're just going to leave that one there and move on to the next one. So our next one is fat sexual, and I didn't actually see very many things saying that this was like a jab at invalidating the LGBTQ community. Not to say that it isn't. I'm not going to make that claim either. I don't know. This is a lot like the pansexual one, where it could be innocent. There's some evidence to point that it is innocent, but there's also a chance it might not be. Again, I don't know. If you have any more information on this, leave it down in the comments. I will be trying to heart and pin all of the comments that correct me and stuff that I got wrong. But this also could potentially just be, people that are attracted to bigger people, or, I guess if you want to put it bluntly, fat people. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like this is totally out of the realm of normal or possible. There's obviously the whole BBW thing, which stands for Big Beautiful Women. That's completely a thing on its own. So it is possible that this has some, real negative sides to it or something. It's possible that this one isn't that bad, but I really don't 100% know. It could just be another one of those ones to invalidate the LGBTQ. So go ahead and take a look into that one yourself, I guess, and I form that opinion for yourself, or leave it down in the comments. And, we'll see. So, yeah, that's pretty much that one. So, this next one is Barlow. I think in specific, it is referring to Barlow Pride, which is another thing started on TikTok. And this is actually based in a real kind of thing, but not in the way that you may think. So it has something to do with the attraction to bees, but people have the issue with it for the fact that it makes the attraction to bees, which is like an inherently zoophilic thing, which zoophilia is like being attracted to animals and stuff like that, which is pretty wrong. It's more of a disorder than like a sexuality, and they're kind of trying to make it like a normalized sexuality, which can be harmful, especially in case to bees and stuff like that, where I mean, if you get stung by enough bees, that's not gonna end well for you. And I would imagine if you're making sexual advances on a bee or a beehive or something like that, that's definitely putting you at risk. So this one is interesting. This one, it actually has some reality behind it, and some real like meat to why it is like really not good for anybody involved. It doesn't only like take jabs at the LGBTQ people, but also these people that have a disorder in being attracted to animals, in specifics bees here. So yeah, this one's kind of interesting. But yeah, that's really all I'm gonna say about it. So let's move on to the next one. So this next one is Purple Sexual. From what I can tell, it's also there to invalidate the LGBTQ. This one's a little shady. Again, I couldn't find very much information on it, so I don't really know. But yeah, it seems to be based around attraction to the color purple or something, which I mean, it's all over the place with this one. So yeah, it seems to be not real, seems to be fake for sure, and seems to be invalidating the LGBTQ community. So we're going to leave that one there. So this next one is Lesbian Maps. Now, we talked about maps earlier. It was like the second or third one in the video. And this was the minor attracted persons. It's pretty much the same thing from what I can tell, just with the lesbian spin on it. So it's, pedophilic women who are into little girls, so not good, definitely not good. And yeah, we're going to leave that one there. This one's just wrong for a multitude of reasons. Many of those the same with the original map one that we did back towards the beginning of the video. So just pretty wrong all around. Pet Sexual, another fake sexuality made up to go ahead and invalidate the LGBTQ community. It's based on like attraction to pets, I guess, or something, which again, wrong. This is kind of like the Barlow one with the bees or whatever. Again, it's like a zoophilic kind of thing, but this one is much less based in forms of reality. This was just wrong. It's wrong. It's there to invalidate the LGBTQ community. And so just pretty much wrong. Another one of these thrown out there out of nowhere, stupid ones just to make fun of other people pretty much. So yeah, that's that one. So TikTok Sexual. This one sounds as dumb as it is. Again, it's there to make fun of LGBTQ people. And it's basically just people on TikTok created it that really like TikTok or some shit like that. Probably not, actually. They're probably just trying to, once again, invalidate other people. And yeah, it's on TikTok, created on TikTok. Woohoo for TikTok. It's dumb. This one is just dumb. I literally cannot even say anything else about it besides it is dumb in every way possible. So we're just going to move on to the next one. Gore Sexual. from what I can tell, it's being attracted to gore, having a sexuality based around gore, which if you don't know what gore is, it's like, I mean, it's just gore. I don't really know how to describe gore. So it is what it is. It seems like just another fake one to invalidate people, but I guess this one could possibly make more sense than some of the other ones, but I doubt it, so that's pretty much that one. Just it appears to be another one that just makes fun of the LGBTQ community. So the next one is Smart Sexual. And I genuinely could not find anything on this one. I don't know if it's been like wiped from things because it was, offensive, or there was something really wrong with it or something to where it broke terms of services and just ended up getting wiped from like everything. I don't know, but I could not find anything on Smart Sexual. So I'm not going to make any comments. I'm sure we can all assume, what it probably was, but I can't find anything on this one. So moving on to the next one. So Game Sexual, this, this kind of seems to run along the same lines as like those people who are like, I'm gamer gender and stuff like that. It just seems to be one of those fake ones. And probably once again to invalidate the LGBTQ community. I didn't find anything that like explicitly said that about it, like I have for most of the other ones, but it's safe to be assumed, I would say. So moving on to the next one. So our next one is Swag Sexual, which I didn't get any confirmation again that this one is like 100% a joke or, 100% making fun of the LGBTQ community. But considering the posts I saw on Twitter where it was hashtagged with things such as homophobia, homophobic, and poop/fart, I would say it's pretty safe to say that it is probably making fun of LGBTQ people. I would be very surprised if it wasn't, and the name alone kind of gives that away, I would say, but I don't know. So yeah, we're going to leave that one here and go ahead and move on to the next one. So this next one is Galor Sexual, or I don't know, it's spelled Galor. I don't know what this is at all. This is another one where I just couldn't really find anything for it. And this is also the first one that I looked up, and I was just met with porn videos. So yeah, I don't know. If anybody wants to explain this one to me, like I've stated for other ones, go ahead down in the comments. I will try and like it or heart it or pin it or whatever. And I guess we'll get our information for that one from there, depending on if I decide it's credible or not. But yeah, I don't know what this one is. So our next one is Minecraft Sexual, which again, it's people attracted to Minecraft skins or something, which, I mean, I couldn't really find 100% confirmation that this is just there to like, make fun of, the LGBTQ community, but I'm gonna say it is. It's literally Minecraft Sexual. I mean, come on. What do you think it could be? So yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one there. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. Our next one is Fire Sexual, which I've heard is everything from a sexuality to a cult. In my research, I just don't know. I've heard some things say it's like a lesbian-based cult. A lot of things are just saying it's another fake sexuality. I guess this one's like take your pick. I don't really know. I'm gonna go out on the limb and say it's probably another one of these fake sexualities just there to invalidate the LGBTQ, because on one of the Reddits I saw it just said fire sexual is valid or something like that, which 90% of these ones that are just making fun of the LGBTQ community say stuff like that on their Reddit. So pretty interesting. This one's got layers. That's all I'm going to say. So moving on to the next one. So this next one is Measexual, I guess. It's MEA sexual. I don't really get this one. I guess something to do with meals modifies your sexuality or something like that. But again, this is another fake sexuality, and it carries the same trend that many of these other fake sexualities do of just being an insult to the LGBTQ community. So yeah, this one's quick, short, kind of weird, but yeah, moving on to the next one. Our next two I'm grouping together because they are both equally stupid in their own way. These next two are poop and pee sexual. Just come on. I mean, these literally sound like a 3-year-old made them. Poop sexual is being attracted to poop. Obviously, this one is fake and is just there to be dumb and make fun of the LGBTQ community. And pee sexual does the same thing. So, yeah, that's these two. I thought I would just rope them together because they are so similar. And, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Choco-sexual. Again, we're just following the same outline as many of these other ones, but with chocolate this time. This one, again, just seems to be making fun of the LGBTQ community. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on to the next one. Our next one is Pocal-sexual, which, might as well be the most fake one on here. I believe it is it's just a misspelling of a word. It literally has zero meaning and is just another one of those things people say to make fun of the LGBTQ community. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So Zoosexual, this one isn't really to attack the LGBTQ community. This Zoosexual one is more along the lines of, these people are zoophiliacs, or they like to have sexual intercourse with animals, which is, bad for a number of reasons. I don't even think I need to state them, but this one's bad in its own right because it's a bunch of people that are trying to normalize zoophilia, which it's just not something you should be normalizing. It's kind of like the B one. It's another disorder that should probably be treated and fixed rather than something that should be normalized through the medium of a sexuality. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Watersexual. This one again, just a straight up fake one. There to make fun of the LGBTQ community. Don't really have to say anything else. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one. So this next one is misspelled, I'm assuming for censorship reasons, but essentially it is rapist sexual. It's pretty self-explanatory. It is people who are attracted to rape, which this is in fact a sexual fetish, but it is not a sexuality, therefore making this another. I don't really know if this is one that's, poking fun at the LGBTQ community, just because of how out there it actually is. It might more just be based around the sexual fetish, but with that being said, it is not, acknowledged as a sexuality, and nor will it probably ever be. So that's just going to be that one. All right. So, just as a little midway through stopping point here, to update you on some information. this is now a different day. So if I sound any different, or if there's a quality difference, or, something like that, this is a second day now. This is, there were a lot of these, and I severely underestimated how many there were. But with that being said, we are still going to get through all of them. So we're going to go ahead and get right back into now like the second kind of half of the video. So, I'm giving you a break here for a second. Maybe you want to pause. Maybe you want to refill your snacks, go get some water, do something like that. This is your chance right here. So pause here because we're about to get into pretty much the second half. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that real quick. So this next one is Quasi-Homosexual. Now, if you don't know what the word quasi means, it's kind of like, from my understanding of the word, I don't know. I'm not looking up a definition here. I'm just kind of going off how I normally interpret the word. It's kind of like a substitute for like sort of, or like kind of. So it's like kind of homosexuals. It's very strange, but it's pretty much people who fetishize gay men. So like I don't think, from what I can tell, they themselves are homosexual. They just find like the thought of other men being homosexuals attractive. So I'm not really sure where to go here. I don't want to step on any toes with this one. So we're just going to kind of leave it at that. You guys can interpret like any further meaning behind it for yourself, because I don't really want to step on anybody's toes in case this is something that's kind of accepted. It seems weird. It seems like more of like a closeted homosexual thing, like, oh, I'm going to say I really like, the idea of gay people having sex, but, me, myself, I could never be that gay person having sex. So I don't know. This one feels like a lot to unpack, and this is just kind of like a quick run through video. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave that one. So this next one, again, I don't really have definitive proof on like if there's some underlying offensive reason behind it or something like that. And it actually it ties into the one that we just did a couple ones ago, the rapist sexual. It ties in well to that kind of. And this one is serial killer sexual. So kind of like with the rapist sexual, this is a thing that is like, it's a psychological thing in humans for some reason, that some of us just genuinely like that stuff. Again, this falls more in the line of like a fetish thing. I don't really know if it's a sexuality. So yeah, I don't know. It feels like too far, and it's not a real sexuality. It feels like too far to try and group that into sexuality, but kind of like the rapist sexual thing, it is a fetish. People are attracted to serial killers, and yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, that's where I'm going to leave that one. So this next one is ADHBI sexual. I don't know if I'm saying that right, or I don't know. And this one, we're just going to do really quick. I couldn't actually find any information on this one, and I don't really want to speculate on what it is. So, yeah, we're just going to kind of leave this one at a name. I don't know what it is. It's possible that it's spelled wrong in the comment on the list that I'm reading from, and I couldn't find it because of that. I don't know. This one, I couldn't find any information from, so we're just going to move on. So this next one is object sexual, and this one kind of has some layers we have to go through. So just to start off, do I think, or would this be placed in like the LGBTQ kind of sexualities things? I don't think so. I don't think it's like a like genuine sexuality that's in that kind of group. However, this is a real thing that's kind of somewhat acknowledged. It's obviously being attracted to objects. It's another one of those philia things. We've talked about a couple of these, like the zoophilia and stuff. It's just being attracted to objects, like sexually. So it is kind of a real thing that people experience. Like, I guess you could just be sexually attracted to objects. And I mean, I don't know, maybe you only use like sex toys or something. Probably something along those lines. I'm not really sure, but I don't know if it's like, if it's something that would be accepted as like a, LGBTQ plus kind of sexuality. I don't know if you would rope it into that. I don't typically think you would. This is more of just kind of like another one of the philia kind of things. Where you're just attracted to objects this time instead of animals. Personally, I don't really find this one that bad. I guess if you're like saying it as a joke, like, oh, I'm object sexual, then obviously that has the potential to, bring a negative light to the LGBTQ community. It's kind of trying to undermine that and, stuff like that, make fun of it a little bit. But I think if you're just genuinely attracted to objects and like you actually feel like that's your sexuality and you're not just trying to make a stupid joke, then, I guess this is a real thing in a way. So yeah, I don't know. If you want to do more research, as always, with any of these, if they seem interesting to you, go ahead and do your own research, and you can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong or right, or, even just to add on to some. So yeah, moving on to the next one. So this next one is kid sexual, which it's like we've done a couple other one of these pedophile kind of ones before. This definitely isn't the first one in this list. It's possibly not the last. And it really has brought to light that not only am I going to be put on an FBI watch list after this video for looking up all of these inherently pedophilic terms, but it also seems like they keep trying to normalize themselves into the LGBT, like assimilate into the LGBTQ community when they just aren't wanted there for obvious reasons. So, this one obviously isn't good, and that's where we're going to leave. Nothing about this one is good. So, yeah, we're just going to leave that there. So, this next one, along with a couple of these, as we've seen, I just don't know. I'm kind of split on the information I'm receiving. There's like relation sex because, I should probably explain what this is called. This is called relation sexual, and there's like relation sex, which is like a relationship built purely on sex, kind of like a friends with benefits kind of thing, or like, a hookup or a side person or whatever. It's kind of something like that. So I'm seeing some of that. And, there's also obviously the implication that the list it's coming off of, it's one of these fake sexuality kind of things. So I don't really know. I can't find the information for it. So we're just kind of going to leave this one here because I don't really know what it is. So I don't want to, put out a bunch of false information about it. Super straight. So this is our next one. And super straight people are people who, they will not date trans people, or they won't date, like, I guess anybody that's into anything somewhat gay. They're just like, man and woman, like beginning of time. That's the only thing that can go together. Biological man and biological woman, and that's all that can, whatever. That's all that can matter. This one actually got a pretty good amount of publicity like a couple of years ago because people were using it frequently, as kind of a joking sort of thing. So this is one that just kind of mocks the LGBTQ community because they're, of course, saying, oh, well, if you can be gay, I'm going to be super straight and I don't want anything that's, slightly gay even, which is just like, I mean, who cares? It's a big deal to go out and say, oh, I'm super straight rather than just be a normal person. Like, I'm not saying if you're a straight person or a gay person or whatever, I'm not saying you should have to date a trans person, because they fall into the category that you like after their transition. But you also don't have to go out of your way and be like, oh, I'm super straight, Just like if that comes down to that and, you're in that situation and then you find that out, there's much better ways to go about it if you don't want to. You don't have to declare yourself super straight. You can literally just be a normal person and say, oh, this is kind of an issue for me. I don't want to do this. This isn't something I'm completely comfortable with. And a lot of trans people, I don't think would get very annoyed with that. I'm sure some of them would take a little bit of offense to that, but it's kind of like an understandable thing, I would think. Same way as you have certain types, maybe you're talking to somebody that you don't like very much, and then you find something out about them, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not going to work out. I feel like this is kind of in that same realm. It's respectful. It keeps it respectful. The super straight thing, though, is not. That's obviously bad. We did go on a little bit of a ramble with this one. But, yeah, the super straight thing is just inherently pretty wrong. It mocks the LGBT community, and it's inherently aggressive towards, like, trans people and stuff like that, which, isn't good. So we'll leave this one here. So this next one on the list is Grand Order. And I'm honestly not quite sure what that is. I tried to look it up again and it just came up with a mobile game. So I don't know if this has to do something with that. I don't know if this has to do something with something else. I'm not really 100% sure what this is referencing. So with that being said, we're just kind of going to move on to the next one. This next one is another Stan kind of one. It's Jacksepticeye Sexual. Now, I'm sure you know who Jacksepticeye is if you're on YouTube. If you don't, he's an Irish gaming YouTuber. He's been doing YouTube for a long time. He plays with people like Markiplier and PewDiePie and, a couple other people from the kind of gaming community or just, variety, I guess, kind of thing. Because a lot of those gaming channels have expanded into multiple different genres, kind of, because it's hard to stick to just gaming nowadays. But I guess for some reason people have now made a sexuality out of him, which feels wrong, especially considering Jacksepticeye is, I've heard, and you can tell in some of his videos, he seems like genuinely, a really nice person, and super supportive of, stuff like the LGBT community. He doesn't seem to be against it at all. He's been pretty open to embracing it, and a lot of people from it actually watch his channel because of that. So I don't know why you would go out of your way to make another one of these dumb fake sexualities out of him of all people, but I guess it's a thing. So yeah, this one, it's just plain and simple. It's just not real. And it's kind of along the lines of those mocking ones. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this one. So we've read into a little bit of a discrepancy here. Now there's another one called Rapist Sexual, so I'm starting to think the other one maybe wasn't rapist sexual, but I did look it up exactly how it was spelled, and that's what came up. So I don't know if there was a misspelling or, the commenter forgot to, didn't realize that they put it twice or just something like that. I'm not sure, but we've ran into this one again. So I don't know if it's different. It might be different, but I'm going to continue on and just assume I've already talked about this one. Okay, so this next one is, we're going to take a second on it because this one is one of truly the more disturbing, wrong, disrespectful ones I've ran into on this list. So this one is Zoosexual. Now, you may be thinking, okay, what's Ro-Ro? What's the big deal with that? That just sounds like some random, term, phrase, whatever. It's in reference to Ro-Ro-chan. Now, if you don't know what Ro-Ro-chan is, I don't really expect you to. Maybe if you're into like kind of the darker horror side of YouTube or mystery side of YouTube, you might know, but just as like a normal everyday viewer of YouTube, I don't really expect you to know. So Ro-Ro-chan was a live streamer. She was a Japanese live streamer, and she basically committed suicide on live stream because she wanted to be I can't remember. She wanted to be like legendary or something. That was like her whole thing. She really wanted to be like legendary, or I'm assuming she just really wanted to be popular. Like she really wanted to be a popular live streamer. And so her chat basically, and she basically had this kind of idea already. And then the chat just pushed it on her saying, this will make you legend, blah, 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 right? That did lead her to commit suicide. And now this Zoosexual thing, which is a fake sexuality, is just wrong. Not only does it mock her, it mocks the LGBTQ community. It's just bad. It's overall bad. It's overall disrespectful. It's disrespectful to this girl who's now sadly passed, her family, just anybody, anything revolving around her or the LGBTQ community. This is just a huge disrespect to. This is pretty bad, pretty disturbing. This one's just one of the more seriously bad ones we've talked about. That's pretty much what I'm going to say about it. So yeah, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So this next one is Miku-sexual, and it's apparently like a virtual pop star is where the Miku part comes from. And it's apparently people attracted to her. This is just one of those ones that mocks and pisses off the LGBTQ community, which, I mean, it's kind of easy to tell which ones those are just by like how kind of, generic the prefix sounds like, or, if it's like a popular person or something, you could just pretty much assume that by now, like Jacksepticeye, Dream, but also just dumb stuff like we went over the poop and pee sexual, like just, yeah, you get the gist. It's another dumb one that's just pretty much there to mock, or it's like another stan kind of one. It's just dumb overall. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. So this one also seems to be pretty bad. This is Autism Sexual. I've heard and I've researched something saying that it's targeting, and this is the one that I feel like is implied by the whole fake sexuality aspect of this video. I believe it's targeting autistic people, like you're sexually attracted to autistic people because they're autistic, which it feels a little disrespectful in its own right, but yeah, so on top of that, it just feels like a fake sexuality. I mean, obviously, if you're autistic, it's like, who cares? You could still have a normal relationship with somebody. There's no reason to have it be like autistic sexual if you're attracted to autistic people. It should just be like if you meet somebody and they have autism and you're okay with that, then that's cool. You know, you guys have a relationship. There shouldn't be some weird autism sexual thing. That seems just inherently wrong. And it's probably another one of those normalization or like mocking the LGBTQ kind of thing, which, you know, obviously isn't great. We've gone over a bunch of those throughout this video now. And on top of that, though, there is another kind of aspect to it. I don't think these are related, though. I think this is just a separate thing. But there are spaces and groups of people who are autistic who discuss their sexuality with one another. So I do not think that this autism sexual thing is in relation to that, but it was a fact that I feel like I should throw in just because it did come up. So just in case there's any relation, which I really don't think there is, I just wanted to throw that out there. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So this next one, we've kind of been on a trend here with the last few. Another fairly disrespectful seeming one. This is Floyd Sexual. Now, if you don't know what Floyd is in relation to, it is in relation to George Floyd, or in other words, the African American that was killed in, I want to say 2020. Maybe it was early 2020. No, it was definitely 2020, I think. He was killed by a police officer, and it sparked a huge Black Lives Matter kind of movement, a lot of protests. There was a lot of debate going around. It became a big talking point. And this was, there were other people too that contributed to this. With their death and stuff like that, or neglect from police officers and stuff like that. But there was, it kind of kicked off with George Floyd. And to say that, and base a sexuality around him, it feels wrong. Again, it's disrespectful. It's kind of like the Roro-chan one. It's like, come on, like they had no reason to be, a sexual figure that has like a sexuality around them. It's just wrong. It's because it was a big event, and it's because it's like a shocking thing. I would assume this one is also to mock the LGBTQ community, because I cannot find any other reason for why it would exist. It's just pretty wrong and disrespectful, and so we're going to leave this one there. So our next one is Cotton Candy Sexual, and I genuinely don't know what like the attraction would kind of be for this one, but it seems to be a TikTok one. There's also an account on a couple different social media platforms that seems to be kind of big. It's called Cotton Candy Sex. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. There's a chance it does not at all. And, that's just a normal person going about their normal day, and something just happened to be too close to their username. I don't know, but it's mainly on TikTok that I've seen it. That's what I did most of my research on, because that's what most of it led to. And, a lot of people just kind of shit on it on TikTok. There's like one account that is for it, but the rest of them are just kind of shitting on it, and I honestly can't blame them. It's just another one of these fake, stupid sexualities, just there to make fun of and kind of mock the LGBTQ, like, oh, well, why can't I just be attracted to this then? It's like, it's just another one of those dumb things from what I can tell, and people have picked up on that actually, and are just kind of saying, yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking about. This is just not valid, plain and simple. So let's move on. So our next one is Zoosexual. The UWU, if you didn't get that by me saying it. And so these people basically just find people who say that attractive. And it's obviously not a real sexuality. it's kind of just there for, dumb people to say because they can, I guess. So kind of, again, targeting the LGBTQ community, just kind of mocking it, bringing down the validity of it, just stuff like that, just like so many of these other ones we've gone over. So yeah, that's pretty much that one. Our next one is K-pop sexual. This is just, again, a very stan kind of one. It's basically being sexually attracted to only K-pop stars and, stuff like that. Obviously fake, just dumb. It's literally just a dumb term to throw out there. Just like so many of these other stan ones. It's just dumb and just tries, I guess it's there and it kind of devalidifies the LGBTQ community. Although, honestly, I don't see how the LGBTQ community at this point even entertains these, and I really don't think they do. I don't even think they bother saying, this is wrong or offensive or devalidifying us. I think they're just like, yeah, this is stupid. Get this away. So, yeah, that's that's that one. So this next one is animate sexual, not anime sexual, like one of the first ones we went over. This is animate sexual. And not only is it that, but it is also our third to final one. We are almost there. We've gone over so many of these. But yeah, so animate sexual, it's pretty much just like anime sexual. That's what I've seen. I've seen is basically another word for that. So I don't know if there's a whole different section of the community that call themselves this rather than anime sexual. But all I know is that those anime sexual people are awful. We obviously discussed that earlier in the video. So if these people are exactly the same, then yeah, they're also awful for all of those reasons. If not, I don't know what else they would be. So yeah, we're just going to leave that one there. So this next one is neon sexual. I honestly don't know what this is. I can hardly find anything for it. I'm seeing a lot of hashtags and stuff of neon sex and neon sexual, but I just really can't find anything that I could say is genuine, citable source kind of thing. I don't know. I can't really find very much on this one. So yeah, we're just going to kind of have to leave it at that and move on to the next one. So our final one is glitter sexual. Again, I really hate to break it to you, especially for the last one. I couldn't really find very much on this. There was a really long description of it as being so diverse sexually that all you could possibly have sex with is a jar of glitter, which really makes me think that this is probably just another one of those joke ones. There to kind of devalidify and, make fun of blah, blah, blah. We've said it a million times. I can't say that that's 100% the reason, but that seems to be the case from the kind of explanation just because of how joking it seemed. But I guess it could be real. I don't really know. I'm going to say there's a 99% chance it is just another one of these fake, dumb, make fun of, devalidify kind of one. So yeah, that's it. That wraps it up. That was our last one right there. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up the video now. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it all the way through this video, this has been quite a video to make. I've never quite made one like this, but I did really enjoy making this video. And it also kind of ties into my previous video I've made on the fake sexuality. So this just goes over a lot more, possibly all of them that are really out there in the mainstream. But yeah, so it was a really fun video to make. Of course, once again, thank you to random person who left the comment with the list of all of these. I really appreciate you for taking the time to type all of those out and, let me know about all of them so I could even have the opportunity of making this video. So yeah, just big thank you to you. And, yeah, I really do hope you guys enjoyed. I would like to make more videos like this in the future where I just kind of do quick 1 to 3 minute segments on a bunch of different information facts. Maybe we'll do an iceberg or something soon. I don't know if that sounds interesting. If it does, let me know. But yeah, if you enjoyed this one, make sure you hit that like button. It means a lot to me, as well as you subscribing. We're trying to get to 500 by the end of the year, and I think we can do it. We just really have to put the work in. But trust me, I will be holding up my end of the deal, and I will be trying in my best to get videos out every Tuesday and Thursday still, like I've been for now just about a year. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and I don't plan to stop. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But as always, have a wonderful day. Don't go join a fake sexuality. It's probably not good, and it's probably hurtful to other people. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.